Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Kotzy Day,
And I am Make Way for Cat.
and this is the Kotzy and Cat Chat, episode 3. Gosh, is it really only episode 3?
No, it can't be episode 3.
We know it's 4. This is episode 4. This is episode 4.
I
I'm
was
crazy
like, I'm
pants.
pretty certain we've done 3.
Yeah, I'm crazy pants. No, I just had the wrong thing written down. That's me.
It's
Oh
okay, it's a
gosh,
new
what a
year.
great
We don't even
way.
have the year right.
I know, right? What a day. Okay, so yeah, I'm starting things off right. Really breaking in the new year here. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about fishing mechanics, but before that, how have you been? How was holidays?
Busy, very busy.
Yeah.
I got to see, you guys probably all know Pass a Cookie and now Howard, but you've been
Yeah.
introduced to my brother. Basically spent the holidays with them. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. And Howard's new kitty.
Yes. So yeah, I think in November he lost his like 13-year-old girl, and a couple weeks later they were looking at a batch of kittens.
Oh.
And there was one in particular that I really liked because he had a little black nose,
Mhm.
and it was him. They ended up deciding to go with him.
Yes.
They were looking at another kitten in the litter, and they're like, "We want that one." And then the lady brought over like 4 of them from the litter and
mm,
ended up going with him. But yeah, little Kushiro, he's got to be what, 3 months old now.
precious. Oh my
He's
gosh.
big for a 3-month-old cat. He's gonna be huge.
I'm so excited to continue to see pictures on your Discord. I absolutely love it. I
Yeah.
also love I also love the one that your brother posted of him like across his keyboard. Like I was gonna stream today, but
Yeah, if you watch his streams, Kushiro makes an appearance multiple times. He just likes
hilarious.
to hang out with my brother.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. My floof loves to be around, and she's started this new thing where she'll jump across my desk. She never did that before, but I think she saw Keela doing it. Our other cat. And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to just walk across right when you're in the middle of something now." And she saw a loading screen, one of those big blue circles, like the bigger ones, not like the small one.
Yeah.
And she jumped and was like trying to catch it on my screen. It was really precious. I was like, "What the heck are you doing? Why are
Cats are
you
a
doing
trip.
these new things?" Cuz it's not something she ever did before. But, yep, cats are a delight. Cats are a delight.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So holidays consensus busy. Good but busy.
Yes.
Cuz I
Yes.
agree. Same here. It was just absolutely crazy pants busy. Like I feel like almost starting in September, especially with like just outside of like just like school stuff for like for kiddo and stuff like that. My kiddo, like it just school stuff starts, they start scheduling a lot more stuff at that time.
Hmm.
And it's just like if you have the opportunity to stay active and everything like that, which I do, it just becomes a lot. And then not to mention like all of the familial obligations, all of the cooking, if you
Hmm.
do gifting, getting gifts, blah blah blah. Yeah, we tried to take a step away from gifting actually this year, and just did gifts for kiddo, and we kept it like really less is more, which I was
Yeah.
very happy with. Like more quality gifts instead of just like a bunch of things. So, and we tried
Hmm.
to tell the family to do that too. And everybody was really respectful and wonderful about it. So I really appreciated that. But anyways, completely derailed.
We're
What
still
games are
talking
you playing?
holidays. It's good.
Yeah, we're talking holidays. Now let's get back into games because who cares about personal lives? Let's talk games. That's not what we're here for. What have you been playing,
um,
Kat?
Ever After Falls. It's kind of like 2025 is me wanting to go back into games I just want to finish. Games I started. You kind of when you have a streaming channel, it is so hard to keep up with playing the games you want to play and then keeping up with the games that are coming out.
Yeah.
And so there were a few games like Ever After Falls, Plum Grove,
Mm-hmm.
and like you start playing them and then something new comes out that you're like, oh, I gotta cover this for my channel. So I want to go back and specifically Ever After Falls, there's something about it. There's like an overarching mystery. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you really in a simulation? Are
Right?
you actually dead? I feel like you're dead. I feel like you're dead. So
I
I want
know,
to
right?
find out. I want to find out what's going on. So I'm bound and determined to finish this game.
And then there's like a mysterious character, a mysterious cat character that has like other stuff going on. And you kind of like
Ren,
start,
right?
yeah, Ren, and you start learning her backstory and everything. And it's like, wait, what? Like, there's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to be completely transparent. We talked a little bit about this like a little while ago, about a week or so ago. And I mean, we've talked about Ever After Falls prior to that, and you've been putting out content for it. And immediately when you put out that first video, I was like, dang it, I want to get back into Ever After Falls. And I did. And I completely blame you. It is all you. Your fault.
I will take it.
I've
Good.
played so much. I've played so much in the past, specifically like the past week or so. But like I've played it constantly whenever I have time to myself, whenever I have like a down moment. Um I am immediately there like doing it.
I
It's
wanna I
so much
wanna
fun.
gauge I wanna gauge how far in the game you are. So what season and year are you on, and what
I'm
dungeon level are you in?
I'm in dungeon level 3. I just opened it up. And then
Cool.
I am in year 1 winter, midwinter.
Okay, so you're just a little bit ahead of me because I'm like
Yeah.
midway through Dungeon 2 and I'm in fall of year 1.
Yeah. Uh bring health for the end of dungeon 2. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing else, no more spoilers. That's all I'm going to say.
Good to know. Good to
Um
know.
and I'm playing on Switch. You're playing on PC, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so it runs actually like really well on the Switch. I actually very much enjoy how it runs on the Switch. I also love how it runs on my deck, my Steam
Uh-huh.
Deck. Um but I for whatever reason chose to play it on Switch. I think it's because I get to play in the living room with a much larger television.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I will be completely transparent. I play with controller. I actually don't prefer some of the game like with keyboard mouse. We'll get into that later though cuz it's a fishing thing. We'll talk
Oh,
about that
okay. Yep,
later.
yep.
So, since that's the topic, we will cover it later since Ever After Falls is going to come up again later. Um
Yes.
you had something about the elephant?
Oh, yeah. Have you done the quest line with the elephant and the voodoo stuff? Like she is a weird character.
Oh no, she's a hippo. She's a hippo.
Oh, the hippo.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
H.
Yeah,
Hippo.
Hertha is
An
a
elephant.
hippo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the elephant is the guy that she wants to be with, Edgar.
Edgar.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's
Cuz all of
he's
the
a
names are
sweetheart.
alliterative. All of the names are
Yes.
alliterative.
They are. They are. Yeah, it
Freya
was
the
the hippo.
ferret. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, the hippo is yeah, she's a crazy narcissist. She's a
Yes.
little off her rocker for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
And for
that
anyone
whole
who doesn't
storyline was a little
know,
creepy.
yeah, anyone who doesn't know, she requests you to get a piece of hair from the elephant who she has a major crush on. It
Yeah.
actually sounds like they dated once and he
Yeah, they
was
used to
like cut
date.
it off.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, she
She's not
wouldn't
letting
she,
go.
no, and you end up giving her a piece of the cat, Sid's
Sid.
hair,
Mhm. Mhm.
and of course, she used it in some kind of ritual, and now Sid's kind of fallen in love with her, and
Yep.
now he knows that it was magic, basically, and now I'm
He
on the
gets
part of the
so
quest where you
mad.
have to. Oh, he should be. He's
He should
furious.
be, rightfully. I was like, I would literally never do this. Literally, I would never do this for someone. I would not give somebody
Ever.
else somebody's hair. Like, why is this a mandatory quest line. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and now I'm on the quest where I have to make the potion to basically end the magic spell.
Oh yeah, I did that one. I've already finished that one. It takes a while if you don't um I feel like prep beforehand. Like there's so it's what it's his hair, it's an elf stone, and it's
The Totonut,
Toto nut juice or
which
whatever.
I don't know where to get the Totonut from.
Let me know if you want a spoiler because I know where it is. There's an easy access
Yes.
one. So
There
um
is.
yeah, I'll shoot you a message after this because I don't want to spoil everybody else. If anybody else is playing or wants to play. But yes, there's an easy access to Tonut tree. If
Excellent.
you've
Yes.
followed Sid's quest line.
Okay.
If you've followed Sid's quest line. So I'll message you about that later. I won't spoil you guys. I promise I
Awesome.
won't do that.
Awesome.
Um but yeah, so both of us have been playing a lot of Ever After Falls. I've been playing a lot of Traveler's Rest, although it kind of taken a break the last week, which is ridiculous because it's for my holiday decoration video and I need to do it. Which I thought I was just absolutely out of luck after the last day. Um,
Mhm.
but figured out, thank you, Blue Sky Gamer, that you can roll back the date on your computer, just like with Animal Crossing and other games, and it'll activate the event line again. And so
Mhm.
that's kind of what I've been doing, and I'm gonna like make my ultimate Christmas Traveler's Rest, and then from there, I think I'm just gonna do like a fast storyline. I'm not gonna like cover all of it. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mhm.
taking a lot longer because I want to expand the tavern and get some stuff up to snuff, and I want to get back to winter because I'm in spring right now. The winter actually ended, so I wanted to get back into winter before I do it too.
Yeah, I got a comment that someone was like, "There's not even snow on the ground for the Christmas event. This makes no sense." And I was like, "That's
I
because the
know.
event is not tied to the season you're in. It's
I
tied to
know.
the IRL dates,
Exactly.
unfortunately." Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
did
was
my
kind of like
Christmas in fall.
nice, nice. At least you have like the changing colors. Even if you don't have snow, you have the changing colors, like
Yeah.
signifying that it's getting colder. Because, well, if I'm being honest, where I am, we don't get
Spring.
snow. We don't get snow, like
Oh, yeah,
IRL.
where you live.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't get snow here, and so it's not realistic, even in winter, to have snow. Um, I thought that was a really cool mechanic with A Wonderful Life. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life,
Yes. Mhm.
where sometimes there's not snow in winter, or
Mhm.
like it'll snow and it'll be really thick, or it'll start to melt and blah blah blah. Like it was a much more diverse look at winter as a season, which I
Yeah.
appreciated. I don't think there's any other game that really does that. Although I will say in Ever After Falls, you see trees starting to change in the week leading up to
Oh, really?
the end of the season. Yeah, it's especially noticeable when you play from fall into winter because some of the trees will go completely bare without leaves.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that.
And then from summer to fall, you can notice some of the trees changing color. I noticed that like as I was
Mhm.
playing, I was like, interesting. I thought it was done really well.
I did not notice. I'll have to pay attention second year around.
Right. And then I know there's another game that you've been playing quite a bit of.
World of Warcraft?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. I I'm an avid World of Warcraft player. I have another channel, Librarian of Azeroth, if you're interested. Um, I basically catalog and read the in-game books. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've
Mm,
been doing some live streams, well, like one a week trying to, which have been fun.
that's awesome.
I
That's really cool.
I get terrified that I'm going to run out of books to cover, but then the list just keeps growing.
It
So
just
I
keeps
think
going
there's quite a
on and on.
longevity. Yeah. Just actually last night I discovered a guide on Wowhead. Wowhead is like the main, it's like a wiki kind of, but it's not. It's actually run by someone, and it's kind of become like an official source at this point. And I discovered a walkthrough that showed, not walkthrough, a guide that showed like all of the in-game books that you can actually read, including like um, gravestones and monuments and things, like any plaque that you can read in the
Oh.
game for like the first four expansions, which was
Mm-hmm.
cool. And I ended up in, if you guys know World of Warcraft, the main hub city in Northrend, Dalaran. There's a quest. Well, it's not a quest; it's an achievement. Um, to read these books that kind of just appear across the city in like 10 locations.
Oh.
And you can either get the book you're looking for or you can get a nonsensical book, but it's still pretty decent lore in those books. Um, and so I've been kind of doing that. I've already scraped together like 12 of them, but my list
Nice.
has like 23 possible ones at the moment. But I am
Wow.
finding books that weren't on the list for that particular area. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Nice. I know nothing about World of Warcraft. I've never been a WoW player or anything like that, so I don't know anything about it. But that does sound really, really cool.
Yeah,
And another,
I'm in a,
go
oh,
ahead.
I'm always kind of like stuck between like doing main game content, like the new stuff that's coming out, and then like getting leveling up alt characters and also the book hunting. I'll like get a little piece of note or tip somewhere and I'm like, "Oh, I got to find this book."
I love it.
And yeah, sometimes that's like results in a fantastic win and sometimes you're like, "Oh, no, I can't get this unless I'm phased in through a certain quest and uh, that's going to take me way longer than I expected." So I move on, but yeah.
Right. Right, right, right.
That is basically my World of Warcraft life.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, I
Mhm.
think it's about time we dive into our main topic of the day, which is
Fishing.
fishing. Specifically, fishing mechanics and what makes them good versus utter crap. Like,
Yes.
versus garbage.
Who was it? I feel like it was JoJo because it's JoJo's brand of humor. Every time, every time I play a new game that has a fishing mechanic, I think it was JoJo who said, "I think they give the fishing mechanic to the intern because fishing mechanics can be so either fantastic
Or
or
just
utter
absolutely
garbage
terrible. Yeah.
and
And
anywhere in between."
yeah, sometimes like I feel like more often than not they're pretty meh. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like scrolling through games like trying to like think about like, oh, like that one was great. Oh, this one sucked. Oh. And then I just couldn't remember. Couldn't remember
Yes.
like over half of them. They just complete blank. Complete blank in my head. So yeah, yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the map. All over the map.
Mhm.
Um but they're so diverse. Like there's a crazy different amount of fishing mechanics. Like
Yeah.
they're so different. I mean like there's obviously the ones who are just like copy paste Stardew Valley. Um which was
Yes.
like I feel like the
That's
first one that really made fishing bigger, like more of a game, like mini game
yes.
style.
Yep.
Um but then there's just some that get really really creative, and those are like some of the ones that either like really hit hard in a good way or really bomb.
Yes. Yes.
So
I'm just over here just saying yes to everything.
yeah,
But you're
you're like,
right.
yep,
Like
mm-hmm.
I know we'll cover it in a little bit, but like Ever After Falls and their
Mm-hmm.
double wheel fishing
Oh, so good.
versus Echoes of the Plum Grove, which is like a
Oh,
weird follow the trail
weird
thing that
maze, yeah, follow the trail
yeah.
maze thing that I feel like what was it? I was looking at it. Oh gosh, come on. Uh, what was it that I felt like did it well? Luma Island. I think Luma Island actually did basically the same thing that Echoes of the Plum Grove did, mechanically speaking, because you follow the fish,
Oh, okay.
but you do it with your mouse, not with your keyboard,
Ooh,
and it's
okay.
way shorter, and time is paused.
Oh, yes, because those are two things that were. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess I
okay.
think Echoes of the Plum Grove is later on, so we can
Sorry,
talk
yeah.
about that one.
We can go back to it later. You guys got a little sneak peek into like what we're talking about, but we're going to be talking about mechanics, what makes for a great mechanic, our top games for fishing mechanics and our bottom games for fishing mechanics. So, let's go ahead and dive
Yes.
in. I'll go ahead and start us off with our first one. It has to be engaging. Like it has to keep my interest through it, and I have to actually want to do it. Like it can't be like too difficult. It can't be too easy. It can't be something that I don't have to pay attention to. Like I have to like actually want to do it. Um it can't just be
Well, we
dropping a line
actually,
in. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
well, we actually kind of differ there a little bit because
Oh,
I like
really?
both. Yeah, like a lot of games will, I guess, lazy out and do the drop the line, wait for a screen marker or a sound cue, and then
Mhm.
yank the fishing pole. And so World of Warcraft's fishing is like that. And I'm
Okay.
gonna talk about World of Warcraft now because I know I had it in my notes as a top fishing, but I actually
Right.
replaced it with something else.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I'll talk about this here, but there were times where I would just spend hours just fishing in Ironforge, trying to fish up a very particular fish to get an achievement. Uh, and I
Nice.
actually really enjoyed fishing in World of Warcraft. It is basically that. You drop the line, you wait for the sound cue, and then you click the line and you catch a fish.
Yeah.
But I'd watch a movie while doing it. I would like, I actually did enjoy that. But
Yeah.
as I'll cover later, I don't always enjoy that particular style. I guess it's just more based on the game.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say, no, you're completely right. It has to be either completely relaxing
Mm-hmm.
with just like drop the line, wait for cue, pull it in. Which there are a few games that are like that. I can think of them just like off the top of my head, like Animal Crossing, I believe was like that. Fields of Mystery is like
Yes.
that, I believe.
Yep.
And yeah, WoW is like that. So those are just a few of them off the top of my head. And you're right. I actually enjoy those, minus WoW because I haven't played WoW. Um, because they're just simple and they're easy, and I don't have to be like stressed, like not stressed, but like fully like mentally paying attention to it. I can just do it as a relaxing exercise
Yep.
instead. So I guess yeah, no middle ground. Like don't have a middle ground because then it's just meh. But like either be engaging or chill. Oh,
Yes.
the other one is like Fishing Paradiso. That one's kind of like that, but you kind of reel it in. Never mind. That one's not like that. Moving on. Sorry. I thought about it for a second. I was like, no, it's not. Sorry, my bad.
Oh
Moving
wait.
on. Ignore it.
So, well, speaking of games we've played recently, you've played
Oh, yeah.
Fishing Paradiso, and how much of
Web
web fishing did you
fishing.
get to play? Because mine
I
crashed and I
didn't.
couldn't even.
I got to play about 40 minutes of it. And let me be completely honest. I'm pretty sure it's just that my computer can't take it because it requires 8 gigabytes of RAM for you to be able to play that game at base,
That's
which
literally
is
half my RAM.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is huge. And if you're trying to stream or record at the same time, it's just not going to do it. Like,
Nope.
it's absolutely not going to do it. So it crashed my computer. It crashed your computer.
Yep.
But the actual mechanic is fantastic. So I guess this is an honorable mention. This is an honorable mention. It's getting a lot of hype. It has a lot of like people loving it, as it should, but it takes a stronger computer because
Yeah.
for some reason it's a stronger game. And I think part of that has to do with like the multiplayer aspect to it because you can get up to 12 people on one
Yep.
server to play together. But I think
And
that needs to be optimized. Like, that's way too
oh, absolutely.
much. It's way too
Um,
much requirements for it.
I would love a single player mode. That does not
Yeah.
exist. It's literally a multiplayer game.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love a single player mode too. I would absolutely do it. But the mechanic is absolutely fantastic. I love the mechanic. So
Do you have specifics on the mechanic? Because I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really
yeah,
get
yeah.
to.
So you have a meter in your fishing rod, like that kind of looks like a really long triangle.
Hmm.
And you fill it up by holding down your left mouse button. But then there are these white lines that pop up that you have to button mash. You have to mutton bash. Um, sorry, words. Um, it's Friday when we're recording this, y'all. My brain's gone. It's done. The week is done. But yeah, you have to but I almost did it again. Button mash, and it has a little number next to it telling you how many times you have to click. And you're filling it in green as you're like holding it down and everything, but there's a red meter of the fish fighting you, and if it catches up, it breaks the line.
Hmm.
And it's just balanced really, really well. And it was fun and engaging and new and refreshing. And it could have multiple of those white lines or none of them. And it's not great with their tutorial. Like, they don't really explain it well. So it's very confusing because a lot of people, including me, thought that you had to button mash the rest of the way down like the rod to fill in the meter.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, it's just to break those little white lines. And then you hold it down to reel in smoothly again, etc.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. There are a couple of things I don't like about it. Like, you start out only being able to hold 5 bait, and they don't explain when you purchase it that you get the automatic maximum. That
Yep.
you have to keep coming back to like buy it every 5 casts, which is
Oh,
irksome at
weird.
first. But you can upgrade your tackle box, which will upgrade the amount of bait that you can carry. And then there's different kinds of bait. There's like so much to do. There is so much to do on it. I barely was able to even see and scratch the surface. I watched some of Josh's Gaming Garden play it. Like, he had a great time. I know a lot of people that um like I know really enjoyed it. Rack really loves it. Shout out to Rack for suggesting it. Migi really loves it. Shout out to Migi.
Hmm.
Like, it has a lot of people who really, really enjoy it. And I really want to try playing it without being the post and
Yeah.
um not recording and streaming, because I want to see if it can run on my computer without all of the other stuff going on in the periphery. And I
Yeah.
might try to record that without streaming, because recording isn't such an issue, like a weight on the computer, but like it's the streaming that really took it down, I think. So I want to give
Oh,
it another
yes.
chance, because that mechanic is mwah, chef's kiss. It's very, very, very cool. And I really
Yeah,
liked it.
The Steam reviews are overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Even though the art style is abysmal.
It's so bad. It was like lazy coder or lazy developer or something like that is the name of the person who made it, or the team that made it. And I was like, that's appropriate for,
That's
like the
fantastic.
art. But but they did really good
Yeah.
mechanics. They need to work on their tutorials. They need to work on a couple of quality of life things, and obviously their graphics, but beyond that, they made a really great simple game to play with friends.
Hmm.
So, anyways, but yeah, that was another honorable mention, or that was an honorable mention. The other one is Fishing Paradiso, which I've played a couple of times and I really, really enjoyed it. And that one was originally a phone game, and you can really tell. You
Yep.
can really tell because it's almost all point and click, like movement, adjustment of your rod, like where you're throwing it, like where you're casting your line. It's almost all left click on mouse to navigate and do everything. Um, and it's just quirky and funny and really interesting. And I actually don't mind how simple the fishing is. You can adjust your line back and forth, like left and right, and then you click like the middle button. There's like a little middle button on your screen. You click the middle button, and then it'll have kind of like the meter going up and down, you know, and you can choose how
Uh-huh.
far you want to cast it. And you just have to like try and time it right and everything. And you cast it out, and something will bite on the line if you're close to the fish because there's shadows in it.
Mhm.
And you reel it in, and it will break the line if you don't have strong enough line, or you're not strong enough. I forget what the metrics are because it's an RPG, so there's skill levels that you level up as you earn more and more money. Like you level up your gear, level up your charm. Big hunter is like better quality fish, blah blah blah. um but I just leveled it up so high that all I have to do is hold the button down to reel it in. I don't have
Wow.
to worry about like finagling it or anything like that, but I just really enjoy it as like a simple, fun, relaxing game. And
Mhm.
it's got really quirky story and characters and everything, so it's really funny and interesting to play. There are a few different areas, and you can find different fishing spots in those areas, but they look the exact same, so that doesn't
Okay.
change. And there's definitely translation issues with it. But overall, it's a cute little game. It's $15 USD. So I wouldn't recommend getting it for that because there's definitely some stuttering and lag issues a couple of different times. Like it'll freeze and then it'll keep going. Um, but if you ever get like a sale where it's like 60% off, like it's only around $5 or $6, I say go for it because it's a pretty good little game, especially if you're trying to relax in like the evening or decompress after a long day, and you enjoy fishing
Mhm.
mechanics. Like, I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one. Not for $15,
Very cool.
but under
Yeah.
10. So, but anyways, what's our next mechanic
So
that we're
you
talking about?
actually kind of covered it a little bit with well balanced because you were
Oh
talking
yeah.
about web fishing and how well balanced it was. Um, and one of the things that's nice about balance too is when you're able to upgrade your gear and fishing gets
Yes.
easier or you get better, more rare fish. I mean, that's true with Stardew Valley did that. Like your green bar gets larger with better fishing poles.
Mm-hmm.
Um then you get I liked the was like the heavy sinker that
Oh yeah.
that it made your bar not bounce around as much. I think something like that. That I
I
use
love the
that one a
trap
lot.
bobber. That was the one I always go to. The trap bobber.
Or it kind of sticks to the
No, because it tugged on it. I don't like the movement ones because it tugs on the line and it makes it harder for me to like control where I have it. But
okay.
it has like it's like more firm. I forget what it is. I have to look it up now. Hold please. I can't keep going without knowing what the trap bobber does. Stardew Valley trap bobber. I know what its
Okay,
name
well,
is, and it looks like a little metal kind of thing.
oh, is
Um
that the one I'm talking about? That might be the one I was talking about
this
too.
is a tackle that helps fishing by causing the progress bar to decrease 33% slower. That's what it is. So your bar goes down more slowly when you are not on top of the fish, like when you're not in the right spot
Oh,
with the fish.
okay. No, that wasn't the one I was talking about. But yeah, it slows your ability to lose the fish basically.
Yeah. That's the one I really, really love because as you like, okay, we're gonna talk about this later because we're gonna talk about Stardew Valley. It's on the list, so we'll talk about it later. Dang it, we keep going off on tangents with this stuff because it's really interesting and fun. But yeah, and I'll also say smooth with no stuttering on that one with well balanced because I feel like quality of life and optimization have to go hand in hand with that well balanced aspect
Yeah.
because it can ruin it if you get a stutter right in the middle of your reel.
Oh yeah, and even in just like a simple drop the line, wait for the cue fishing,
Mm-hmm.
if like you have any lag at all, you're gonna miss your fish.
Yeah. Oh, that's uh yeah, that's just rough. That absolutely sucks because I started playing Stardew Valley on Switch, and even with Stardew
Oh.
Valley, which doesn't take like a heck of a lot to run when you're playing just plain vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
it still has stuttering when you're fishing. And
Huh.
I'm like, game, why? At least there's redemption with Stardew Valley because if it's a really short lag, you can just like get back on the fish and be fine. But if it
Mm-hmm.
makes me miss perfection, I get PO'd. I get mad. But yeah, so that's pretty much like well balanced. You guys understand what it is. Not too easy, not too hard. Um just somewhere in the middle. Good upgrades that are really well paced. Good
Yeah.
gear, bait, what have you, skill upgrades, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then next is variety of fish. I
Yes.
love when a game has a good variety of fish. And I'd say probably around 30. Between 30 and 40 is like the sweet spot. If I'm
Okay. Okay.
maybe more 20 to 30, maybe more 20 to 30. I think 30 to 40 might be a little bit overwhelming, but like the 20 to 30 I think is like that sweet spot. Having different
Yeah.
sections, different times of day and different seasons where you can catch different fish. It keeps it really fresh and interesting, like being able to catch something new. You know what I mean? Like throughout the year or throughout whatever
Yes.
playtime you have, and play area you have. Like that's one of the most thrilling things and most fun things for me is like when I catch a new fish, especially when you have like something like the museum or community center or
Yes.
aquarium or
I was gonna
whatever.
bring that up. Yep, I was gonna
Yeah,
bring that up too.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's so satisfying and you get other rewards for it.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
um, go ahead.
so yeah, fishing that has I feel like Dinkum's like this too.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing that the types of fish you get change not just based on season, but also biome.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't go so far as to say Kinseed. I think Kinseed's the way they do their 5-star progress can be a little infuriating sometimes because you
Yeah.
have to have all the correct and it can be something as weird as have this animal following you. It's got to be like between midnight and 3 and like the blood
It
moon
can
has
get
to be out. Like it's
infuriating. It's a little
ridiculous.
too over the top detailed. It's a little too over the top detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
having the three base like requirements: time of day,
mhm.
season, and
Yep.
biome. And
Yes.
that should be it. I think
100%.
those are like the three that should really matter. I don't think I think they went over the top with like their requirements in Kinseed. Like, not that I hate Kinseed's fishing. It's not my favorite though. It's not even on the list. I don't think for either of
Nope.
us.
Nope.
So yeah, it's one of those meh
Yep.
because it could have been good, but it's a little too frustrating to be good. So yeah, not frustrating. That might be a little inconvenient. It's a little too inconvenient and complicated
Mhm.
to be good. So, anyways, yeah. So variety of fish. Um, I had something else
Next
to say.
is oh, you have
Uh,
something else with
no,
variety
I
of
was
fish?
gonna say that was kind of like a different thing. Like I forget what it is now. I completely blanked. We were talking about variety of fish. We were talking about places, everything like that. I was gonna say environment, like maybe or something like that. It was something with an E, and I don't remember what it is anymore. It's gone.
Okay.
It's gone. Sorry.
Let me know if it comes back and we can circle.
I will. I will.
All right. So the next one is and I feel this one to my core.
Yes.
Endless. Being restricted by shadows and spawn rates. Um like in World of Warcraft, I like how they do it where you can really
Mhm.
fish anywhere
Mhm.
and you just get like a baseline fish. It might not be the most exciting fish, but you get a fish.
Yeah.
But then there's pools. There's pools around with very specific types of fish in them. And I know
Mhm.
some games will do pools where it's like, oh, you get better fish or more fish or a very specific kind of fish.
Right.
Um, yeah, so then there's that. So you can literally fish anywhere, but then you have like boosted bonus areas that are nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that too. Yeah, no, absolutely. Um I mean, Stardew has it. It's endless, but they also have fishing frenzy
Hmm.
areas or like the little bubble spots.
Yes.
Fantastic. Love it. I don't mind if there's shadows to show you where fish are as long as the spawn rate of the shadows keeps up with how many you're catching.
Sunhaven does
Like
it
it's
well.
a replenish it. Yeah, Sunhaven does it really well.
Hmm.
This is actually something that Fishing Paradiso did really well as well. Because it has shadows, so you have like different sizes and different like shapes and stuff like that. Um, and it did it really well. It kept up super, super well with how many I was catching and the spawn rate. So don't care about shadows, especially when they have different shapes and it kind of shows you what you're catching. I think that's actually really good. But it has to keep up. Like the spawn rate has to keep up with the catch rate. Um, but yeah, endless is just the best. It gets so frustrating. That's I think the one pet peeve I have with Ever After Falls in the fishing,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely
Yep.
honest. And you can get more fish to spawn if you make the bait, but you're not finding the things to make the bait all the time. Like the spawn rate is mediocre, I feel like saying, like, with that one. So, anyways, that's just my feeling about it. That's like the one thing I feel like with Ever After Falls that I don't enjoy. But yeah,
Well,
so
I agree because like if you're fishing, you want to be in the mode of I want to catch some fish. Like it's going to be my
yeah.
my comfort thing to do. Load up
Mm-hmm.
on fish to sell or whatever. Work on getting your achievements or your donations for the museum. And then you catch like 4 fish and then you can't find any more little shadows and you're like, well, there goes all of my plans.
Right. Yeah. No, you just have to travel around the entire map. And
Yep.
then once it's done, it's done. Unless you have
Yep.
that bait, at least in Ever After Falls. In other games, it's just done. So, um, the next one we kind of touched on a little bit, but it's sound cues. I hate when a
Yes.
game is silent
Yep.
or just has a visual when you're catching a fish. I need a sound cue. I need a sound cue.
100. It's almost like an accessibility thing at this point. You
Yeah.
need a sound cue and you need a visual cue.
Yes, we need both. We need both. But and exactly, it is an accessibility thing because yeah, I completely agree. I think that's great. And I would love the vibration on the controller as well if you're playing with controller.
Yes, controller is nice.
Like that's the other thing is having that vibration um as a cue as well. So,
Yeah.
because
Because
sometimes
I
I
often. Oh,
relax
go
with it
ahead.
like
Go
you
ahead.
said. No, I was going to say sometimes you
Hmm.
relax with it like we were talking about earlier with like the more chill, like cast, wait for cue, reel in. Like just the really simple
Hmm.
ones. Like I kind of zone out with stuff like
Yep.
that. So I need that
Same.
sound, I need that vibration, I need that visual cue to lock me back in and help me pay attention again. So, yeah. it, yeah, and I think you wrote on here like sometimes it's just less stressful to listen for the sound. And I agree
It
with that
really is.
100%.
And that is true for Animal Crossing, which we'll cover in a little bit.
Yep. Yep. So that's pretty much the mechanics. If there's any other mechanics that you guys think of that make or break fishing games for you, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So,
Me too. Me too.
what's your first next topic we're going to be on is top 3 games for each of us. So each of us will
Okay.
have 3. And you go ahead and go first. I want to hear about your first one.
I am actually gonna jump right in with because we just mentioned Sunhaven, so we'll go right in for it. Um,
Sweet.
it's it's a simple slide bar mechanic, and you have to click into the right spot.
Mhm.
Um, and then you can get upgrades that will slow down the bar or widen the land zone.
Yeah.
Um, and if you mess up a cast, if you're trying to catch a fish and you mess up a cast, you pull too early or too late, the fish does not disappear. You have a second
Yes.
chance at them. The respawn rate is incredible. It's like if you want to go fishing in that game, you can go fishing. There's
Mhm.
even a there's even like a bonus zone you can go to. Uh,
Mhm.
it's pretty much end game though.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Yeah, and you go there, you get 5 minutes on the clock, and you can catch some rare fish that you can either sell for.
Yep.
And then you get magical abilities in Endgame to like the bubble that just kind of
Yes.
floats
That's what I was
across the
gonna it's
screen
literally what I
and
was just
catches stuff.
thinking of.
Oh, so good.
It's
So
so
good.
good. It's basically this floating bubble that just floats above the water and magnetically
Yep.
pulls in fish. And it's so
Yep.
good. It's so good, especially in that in-game zone. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that zone in particular has a lot more of the shadows like spawning in certain
They
areas.
do.
And so like it'll pull up multiple shadows at once instead of just like the one shadow.
Yep.
So yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I haven't played it in so long. But yes, I hadn't actually thought about this one. And I will say with the simple sidebar, it's horizontal,
It is
which I like
horizontal.
as
Yep.
well, instead of being vertical. Because if I'm
I've
being completely transparent, I actually prefer the horizontal one.
Same. I find them a little more uh manageable to click into the right spot by doing a
Yeah.
horizontal as opposed to a vertical.
Yeah, I feel like my brain just can track it a little bit more easily
And it's
for whatever
and if you'd
reason.
like think of Stardew, it's like up in the corner like a little bit, whereas this is like a good chunk of your screen. You get like a wide area and it's like it takes up real estate on the screen. So you can see it and have a decent shot of getting it in the correct location. It's not a
No.
tiny little bar. Mhm.
I feel okay. I was gonna say I feel like on with Stardew Valley for me, maybe it's just Switch. Like it's pretty sizable. I feel like it's pretty comparable. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to go back and look at that. I haven't played Stardew in a minute, so
Well,
so
I will say
but
the Sunhaven one is definitely at least twice the size of the Stardew one.
nice. Okay, cool,
But
cool, cool.
it's horizontal, so of course it's got more room to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your
No,
first
yeah,
one?
absolutely fair. I mean, Ever After Falls.
Yes.
Yes, and we kind of been talking about it a little bit like this whole entire time. And I will say also specifically for this one with controller.
Okay.
I I play this mechanic specifically with controller. I can do the rest of Ever After Falls with keyboard and mouse, and I probably prefer keyboard and mouse a little bit more with Ever After Falls, like just gameplay. But the fishing specifically, because it has these wheels that turn around, and it has an open spot in the wheel that you have to get your bobber or like the hook into to make it to the fish. And it has two different
Mhm.
lines. It has the center and it has an outer ring for when you're starting. So it's a double wheel and you have to like stop it twice and time it just right so that the hook goes in to the center and is able to make it in. You start off with a minuscule little thing, but you have an opportunity very, very quickly to get that widened
Yep.
by the fisherman Calvin, I think is his name. He gives you
Yeah, the
a
cow.
little
Mhm.
yeah, Calvin the cow. He has their orbs that you can attach to your fishing rod. And I always 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 start with the one that widens the gap. And so
Always.
and yeah, and even like I have the highest rank fishing rod which you can have 4 different spots in. I have 2 of them cuz you can have a max of 2 of them. But then there's other bobbers or other orbs like that add on more circles. So you can actually catch up to 4 fish at the same time.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I know, right? I have one of them on. So I have 3 different rings right now on my Switch. On that playthrough. I only have 3 different orbs attached right now. I'm considering whether I want to attach another one and see what 4 different levels feels like, but it
Yeah.
really it gets a little confusing at first. Like at first it gets a little like crazy, but overall it's just so much fun. The timing is so well done with how it rotates in its circles. There are other
Mhm.
orbs that like you can speed it up, and if you actually make it, you get like double fish or something like that. But I don't feel like that's worth it because you can up your luck through other stuff or get like skill cards that will increase like how often you might get a chance of double fish,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't feel like that one's necessarily like very helpful. Like or like high incentive, but there are other special ones like I can't remember them all off the top of my head. There's one that slows the rate at which the circle goes around, so it's a lot easier to time it, or you can just
Hmm.
turn the mechanic off completely. Like this is one of those games where the dev thought about it, realized timing is not for everyone, and you have the ability to turn it off. So, yeah, it's just chef's kiss. It's so good. I have so much fun playing the fishing. And also it's like my biggest moneymaker, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Um
Um,
in in Ever After Falls.
and one of the things that you can get too is a card that will
Mhm.
send your cat back to the shipping box, so you
Yes.
don't have to fill your bag up so quickly with fish. Because
Yeah,
I
and
don't,
that
I don't know if you actually said it, Kotzy, but like the double wheel, you actually
mhm.
get two fish. You get
Yes.
like
Mhm.
a, if you get the first ring, you get a smaller, you get like a smaller, more common fish, and then if you get the second
Yeah.
ring, you get the bigger fish. That's the prize.
Yeah. It
Yes.
has like I think it's based on the monetary, like the money that you can earn from it. Or maybe it's rarity. I don't know. Because some of it has like those nematodes or whatever in the center. And I'm like, these are
Oh,
rare. I have so many of these. Like the
are
tadpoles
you?
and the
Yeah, are
other
you
things. Yeah.
actually making? You can actually put those tadpoles and stuff into the insect
In
box. You know that,
terrariums.
right?
Yeah, I have the terrarium. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing that
Yep.
now because otherwise you're never going to catch all those bugs or frogs.
No.
You're never going to
No.
catch them all. And you can actually breed them to get more of the tadpoles or like that other stuff too. Yeah. So,
Oh, I didn't know about the
yes.
breeding. I'll have to look
Yes.
into that.
So, you can use one of the signposts. Sorry, we're kind of going like off script right now, but like you can use the signpost with the terrarium. And so you can see
Okay.
what you can do specifically with it. So, just a tip there whenever you play next.
Good to know. Good to
I'm
know.
not giving anything away, so just use the signpost. And the signpost tells you all of the different things you can use with it, you know. So, it's not
Hmm.
like I'm giving away secrets. Although I don't know if you knew this, you can only do the information on the wooden signposts. You can't do it with the stone ones. Those are just pictures.
Okay.
So I wasted a bunch of stone, which wasn't a big deal because you don't honestly use a lot of stone unless you're doing the pathing. Um,
Hmm.
and I made like 10 of them so that I could make a line and like have all my different machines on it and everything so I could go and reference. And I tried it and I was like, where's my information? I got so
Oh
irritated. I was like,
no.
why? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. That was like a quirky little thing. I was like, that feels like a huge, like, that feels like a miss. That's annoying. I don't like that. Anyways, sorry. Going back to fishing. I, this is one where, like, yeah, there's still some things that I feel like I could do better. Like, oh, really only the one is the spawn rate. Like, because it does the shadows in different areas. And once you've caught all of the fish in that area for the day, you're done. Unless you have bait. And you can make the bait by catching worms of various sizes and rarities and blah, blah, blah. And like it'll do like one, I think, to 3 or 5 fish, like that will spawn when you throw it into the water. But I don't know if you feel this way. I feel like it's too difficult to like find the worms. I'm wondering if there's like a
I
worm bin or something else that we can locate to make the bait that would make it easier. But like right now, I'm just like, it feels too difficult to even get the worms. Like,
I honestly don't even mess with bait in
yeah.
pretty much any game that has it until
Hmm.
I actually realize I need it for any reason.
Yeah.
Like to
The
catch a
only,
specific fish. That's
yeah.
it.
I don't really think I've ever used it in Never After Falls. I don't think it's necessary. Except for when, like, I was trying to get, there's a specific quest line where someone drops something into the water and you're trying to get it and it has a random RNG chance for it to pop up anywhere on the
Oh, I
map.
just got that quest. Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's a random RNG chance for it to pop up anywhere on the quest or like anywhere on the map. It says it's in a specific area. It's not. I've caught it in other areas both times I've gotten it because I've played two different games, like the first one up to a certain point and then the one I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's anywhere. Don't let it trick you. Um but yeah, that's the only one where I used bait to try and just get it to spawn more quickly. And that was it. And I like ripped through the bait. I ripped through the bait. So it was like a little disappointing, like how quickly I went through it.
Yeah.
Just because the worms don't spawn very often, I don't feel like. Or we're doing other things and we don't notice them because the way they spawn is they're either in trees or they're wiggling across the map back and forth. And there's a
Trees?
lot of grass and other things, like you cut down the trees or shake the trees or whatever and they'll come out a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Um but they're wiggling across the map somewhere, and there's a lot of grass and it's just hard to see them a lot of the time. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
around and trim the hedge on the entire map. Like friggin' just it's just tedious, I
I
don't
feel
feel like they
that.
spawn
Yeah.
that much or that you just can't see them. So anyways, but that's my only really pet peeve with it is spawn rate, and that's it. But everything else I absolutely adore with it. Absolutely adore with it. And you're right, the bag space is a little annoying, but that's not really part of the fishing mechanic. It's just kind of like an adjacent, like, it's annoying to have to run back and ship everything constantly when you're fishing all day
Mhm.
to earn money. But yeah, once that pet upgrade happens where your pet teleports to go and ship things for you, ugh, chef's kiss. It's
So good.
perfect. It's so good.
So good.
But anyways, what's your next one? What's your next
Okay,
one?
so I actually forgot about this one. I originally had World of Warcraft on here, but we already talked about that.
Yeah.
But last night I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. I played a free phone game called Girl Adrift. A Girl Adrift.
Huh. Okay.
Um, and it is a fishing game. And I played
Really?
this, gosh, years ago. And I actually re-downloaded it this morning so I could like remember why I loved it so much because I actually completed the game. And it's basically
Oh,
you
wow.
play a girl who wakes up and you're on a boat and the entire world is flooded. So then you have this map where you kind of click between different like major cities and you
Oh.
get like quest givers who are looking for very specific kinds of fish and there's like boss fish. And the way you do this is like you press and hold the screen and the higher the bar goes, the more difficult the fish is to get. And then you
Ooh.
basically are setting the difficulty for and then she auto casts. So you set the difficulty and then she
Interesting.
casts the rod on her own. And when she catches something, you tap the screen, the fish comes up, and then you have to quick tap
Mm-hmm.
at a
Mm-hmm.
faster rate than the bar slides down to catch.
Right.
It's almost like a combat mechanic, but
This is cute art
you're reeling
too.
it in.
I Googled.
Adorable art.
It's
Yes.
so
And it's
cute.
very highly rated. It's 4.7 stars, I believe.
Oh, that
Um
is really
I
good.
really and you get like upgrading is easy because you get like these fish cakes for the fish that you catch. And I think the fish auto sell. You don't really need the fish for anything. They auto sell. You get these fish cakes that upgrade your gear. You just click on one little menu and it just pops up where all your upgrades are. You just click them and they upgrade. And then
Nice.
when you beat bosses, you get like extra little drops that you can sell for a different currency called pearls, and you use those for cosmetics. So, and
Ooh,
at some point
nice.
you unlock auto fishing, and
Nice.
that's useful for like real late game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really
Mm-hmm.
fun because you can set the auto fishing, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and then do your stuff,
Yeah, for
sort
sure.
through it.
Oh my gosh, this looks so cute
But
and
yeah,
fun. And it looks like it's also available in the Apple iStore as well as on Android in Google Play.
yes, I play it on
So,
Android and Google Play.
yeah.
Yep.
Um it looks like it's available on both. So I might have to check that one out. That looks so
And it's
cute.
free.
And it's
It's
free.
free.
You can't beat
It's
free.
so good.
Can't beat free.
Yeah, the art
So,
style, the floating around the map, it's fantastic.
it's
Highly
so cute.
recommend.
You guys should look this up. This looks really, really cute. A Girl Adrift. A
Mm-hmm.
Girl Adrift. That's what it's called. But yeah, it looks really, really cute. I definitely would be interested in checking that out and giving it a go. I don't play many phone games, but that looks like one I might actually give a chance for sure.
I used to. I used to play a lot of phone games, way, way back. Before I had Make Way for Cat, I had a
Mm-hmm.
blog, and I would do reviews in my blog on free phone games.
Nice. That's actually really cool. I like that. I like that
Hmm.
idea. But is there like any pay to play stuff in there, or is it mostly just like completely free?
So I never, ever put my credit card in for a phone game. If it's a free game, I play it until it's no longer fun, and then I bail out. I don't upgrade anything. I never spend money in free phone games.
Oh, nice. Okay, gotcha.
I
Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
like to I like to stick it to the system. But I was able to beat the game completely without paying for anything, so it is possible.
Cat likes to go anti-capitalist
I,
with phone games.
facts.
I love it. I love it. Well,
So
I
what
mean,
is your next one?
it's one we've kind of touched on already again. It's Stardew Valley.
Oh,
It's
of
like the
course.
original fishing game love. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's really the first one that had a mechanic added like in a farming kind of sim, farming life sim. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um
that was actual engaged mechanic. Mhm.
yeah. And I also this is another one I vastly prefer doing the fishing game with controller. When I'm speaking to this one, like I'm talking about doing the fishing game with controller. I started this game on Switch, played it for a year or more, like on Switch. I got to it late, by the way. It was already like 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old by the time I started playing it. Um, but anyways, like I love doing it with the controller, but I struggle with the mouse for whatever reason. Just maybe because like it's like thumb versus index. I don't know what it is, but like
Um,
I feel more comfortable with controller with timing games or with things like that across the board. Maybe it's years of Nintendo and playing with controllers regardless. Like it just is more familiar. But
mhm.
this is one where you have to it's a vertical um catch system where you have um I guess like it's a little green box or rectangle and you have to keep it in line with the fish up or down.
Mhm.
This vertical um I guess meter. And as you do, as you keep it over the fish, you get a green bar going up on the right. And that's once it reaches the top, you've caught it. Or if it reaches the bottom, like the line breaks. And
Yep.
sometimes there's like treasure chests that you can do. I always love doing the pirate once you level up skills and everything like that. But like you
Yeah.
level up skills, you can get good tackle pretty quickly if you're
Mhm.
like devoting a lot of attention to fishing. Um, it was just a fun and engaging mechanic for me, especially with the controller. It's less so if I try to place or if I try to play with mouse and keyboard, but I do still enjoy it. I'll do this thing where if I'm playing on my PC, I'll have my controller attached and I'll play most all of the game except for the fishing with keyboard and mouse. And whenever I'm fishing, I'll switch to I'll switch to the controller
Nice.
just because it's not as enjoyable for me. Like it lacks something for me. Like because it's just that little bit less easy for me with like with the keyboard and mouse versus a controller. I don't know if that
Yeah.
seems silly to you guys,
No,
but, but
not to me.
yeah. But yeah, you get different baits and stuff like that. There's a ton of different fish in different areas, like different seasons, different biomes, different times of day. All of that's in there without being too complicated. And like there's massive wiki data now, like where you can find anything that you want, like at least the
Yep.
information to be able to find it. So yeah, and I know a lot of people hate the Stardew fishing mechanic again because it's like a timing based. it's not it's like a little bit timing mixed
It's
with
skill. It
yes,
is
skill.
it is a honed skill because when I first started playing Stardew Valley, I hated it because some of the fish have like a smooth movement pattern and some of them are erratic, like they'll just jump or fall
The
really quickly.
octopus specifically. The
I
octopus
don't remember
specifically.
specifics on which ones, but I just remember like being so frustrated with it and like I didn't fish for a long time in the game
Mhm.
until eventually I was like I want to complete fishing. Um Once you get upgrades and you really practice, you kind of
Yeah,
figure out your rhythm, it's a lot more enjoyable.
it is. I got into it like pretty much right away. It was pretty easy for me to connect with. But yeah, you're right. Some people it takes a little bit longer, but once like you like dial into it, it's it's really really fun. I think the two that I still struggle with to this day, octopus and the glacier fish. I feel like the glacier fish is so much worse than the legend. People talk about the legend all the time. So there's like 4 legendary
Dude, Legend
fish.
was easy.
I thought so too. People like harp on it like it's so hard. And I'm like, dude, that was one of the simplest ones. I think that was actually the simplest one. I feel like, in order for me, of difficulty being the most difficult to the least difficult, glacier fish is the most difficult for the legend or for the legendary fish. Then it's the crimson
Mm.
fish, then the angler, then the legend. The legend is the bottom of the barrel for me for being difficult. I found it so easy. Like I don't get it.
I remember catching Legend and being like, "Oh, that was it?"
Yeah,
So, yes,
right?
100%.
Right? Oh gosh, I don't know why. Like, and yeah, it's just weird. Anyways, so yeah, that's my one. And then there's like I think the other ones that are a little bit more difficult are like the ice pip and the fire eel or lava eel, the lava eel in the caves.
Oh, yes, the lava eel. I do remember that one being difficult.
That one's a lot more difficult. But yeah, anyways, but like they're just so fun. Like I have so much fun with it. Um I I don't know if you've seen, but like on I have a new like poll up that's going to be up until the end of January, and it's for the next long form game that I'm going to
Okay.
play, like since Kinseed's kind of like coming to an end. Um I am, and I have Stardew Valley on there, and it's kind of like a challenge to be determined, or like a theme, like to be determined.
Mhm.
And one of the ones I'm considering is fishing. And I like have like a whole list of mods I would have with it, and it's like more fish, more fish, new section, and like then there's like fish of Stardew. I don't know. It's just like there's just so many fish. There's so many fish. And I'm like stoked about it because I just love it so much. I love it so much. But that's just one of them. Then there's like a mining one, there's like an archaeology one, but like I would let people vote for that if Stardew Valley wins, which it looks like it's going to win. But still,
Nice.
people still love Stardew Valley. Like there's
Oh, yes.
still
Yes, they do.
thirst for Stardew Valley, which is just so amazing. Like that's so incredible. Like that this game has just stood the like test of time. It really has. And like it's constantly getting updated with mods. Like obviously Concerned Ape is still coming out with updates like after 1.6. I haven't played it since 1.6, or I think I played like a week of it and then didn't play anymore. So I know very little about the content with 1.6. That's another thing I'm considering, is just doing a vanilla 1.6 playthrough.
I played 1.6, but after 400 hours of Stardew, I'm kind of burned out, and I'm really like, come on, Haunted Chocolatier. Come on, Haunted
Right.
Chocolatier.
Right. Right,
Like
right, right.
I understand the hype and the love that Stardew Valley gets, but I'm over it.
Yeah. No.
Unpopular opinion, I am over it.
Nah, I get it. I completely do. And I get like times where I'm like, but then there's other times that I really want to jump back in because the mods can make it a completely different game. Or doing a challenge like where you have to do certain things can make it a completely different game. And I love that. So, I'll do a shout out to Evolution right now, one of my favorite YouTubers who does a ton of different Stardew Valley challenges and playthroughs and everything like that. Like she does an amazing job. And she
Cool.
always keeps me entertained. But yeah, so that's my second one. What's your third one?
Fields of Mystria specifically for your ability to jump into the water
Yeah.
and kind of. I do this in the beach where I get in the water and I swim around to see like where the fish are,
Mhm.
and like if there's like a certain kind of fish like shadow size I'm looking for.
Mhm.
But number one, your ability to dive is so good. When you see the little spots and you just kind of swim over it and then you dive and
Yeah.
you get treasure
Yeah.
for your museum. And I really enjoy fishing in Fields of Vistria, and that's basically it.
Yeah. And it's the simple mechanic. We mentioned it earlier. It's that simple mechanic of cast, wait for the cue, reel it in. If you're just
Yep.
doing the regular fishing with the fishing rod, and you can level up the fishing rod, and it just goes farther out, like it just casts farther basically, but it's just
Yep.
a really nice, chill, simple game. I will say with this one, it's another one that has the shadows, and once the
Yes.
shadows run out, like I think you have to leave the area for a certain amount of time and you can come back and they'll respawn, but they don't
Yeah.
respawn very quickly. So it's another one where you're traveling around the map instead of
Yeah.
staying in one spot being able to fish.
Yeah.
So
And the reason I have it in my top is specifically for the diving mechanic
the
because
diving the
it's
diving is
not
so
something I
good.
see.
No, I think it's the only game I've seen diving like come in, or maybe like one of like two. It's the one that sticks out the most in
Hmm.
my mind, and I would have to like search through my other games and like find it for another one. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's fantastic, especially that diving one. I feel like I wish more games had the diving. Honestly, I freaking love it. It's so good. It's so good.
Hmm.
Um,
And what's your final fishing
Roots of
win?
Pacha.
Yes.
I love the fishing in Roots of Pacha, and I say it every single time I play Roots of Pacha. It is so relaxing and fun and interesting. Okay, so you have different biomes that you go to, and this is one where it's endless fishing. This is an endless
It
fishing,
is.
which
Yes.
is already tick in the box, like for being an awesome fishing mechanic. But then you have this pool. It's a circular pool that you're looking at whenever you are wading, because you wade into the water with like a little hand axe. You're catching the fish by hand.
I thought it was
Um,
a spear.
it is later. First
Oh,
you
okay.
start with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hand axe, and then you get a spear later. Um, but you start with your little hand axe, and it's basically you just following the little fish around, but keeping it really smooth and calm. And if the fish starts freaking out, you stop following it and let it chill out a little bit, and then you go back to it and like and do it again, and it's just like it's really soothing. It sounds very strange, but like the shadows will come into the little pool that you see like when you start the fishing game. They'll always populate. They're never going to not be there. There'll be ones that go more quickly. There'll be ones that are different shapes because you learn the shapes of the fish as you catch them. Um and they have different levels of difficulty. There's ones that you only have to like do there's a little meter, there's little not bar but like little dots that you have to like fill up to be able to catch it.
Mhm.
And I think the lowest one is like 2 or 3, and then it goes up to like 6 or 7 with the higher difficulty fish that spawn way less often. Um,
Yep.
and like you said, like you get a leveled up tool like the spear, and it makes those dots go down by like 1 or 2, like depending on I don't remember what it is because it's been a while since I played it. But seriously, it's one of the most relaxing, fun fishing games I have ever played. It's so soothing. It's so much fun. They have a good variety in each different section. They have different biomes. I don't know if they have different times of year or different times of day. I think you can catch them pretty much whenever. Like I don't think they have those two strictures. I think it's just biome.
No. And I will
Um
say one of the things that's nice too is I just completely blanked. Oh,
We're
the
both feeling
shadows.
it Friday. The
You
what?
can tell by the shadows of the fish. You can tell by the shadows of the fish exactly what fish you're gonna get.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Like you learn the shadows
Yep.
after you catch them. So like you'll see a blank shadow at first, but then as you hover over it, like if you've already caught it once, it'll show you the shadow of the fish. So if you don't want that fish, you can just move on to another one or wait. You
Yep.
know, like or if you don't care, you're just catching fish just to make money or do whatever. Like you can just catch the fish. It's so good because making smoked fish or dried fish, I think it's I don't remember which one. I think it's smoked fish is the better moneymaker, but like that's a really good early game moneymaker in Roots of
Yes.
Pacha. So, well, not money. It's like community tokens,
Yeah.
whatever the currency is. It's a really good currency maker. Because if you know anything about Roots of Pacha, it's a community game. You are building your entire community. It's not about like specifically you building a farm or doing all these things. Like it's helping out the community to grow and advance and thrive. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's my last one, and I freaking love it. It's so good, so good. I could do that one all day, every day. Just fall in to that. Just do the
Yeah.
fishing
And
game.
now we get to turn the tides into
Yep,
our least favorite fishing mechanics.
bottom of the
And
barrel.
I'm gonna kick this off with Animal Crossing. Now, Animal Crossing is not much different than other ones I have covered, but very specifically, there's a basically a card that you earn if you catch a certain number of fish in a row. You can't muck up the cast. You have to catch a certain number of fish.
I think it's like
And
50, and then there's another one for 100 or something like that.
yeah, but with Animal Crossing, you just hear blip, 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 and then splash, and so it's really easy to jump the gun.
Yeah,
And when I fish it, I cannot watch the screen. I cannot watch the screen when I fish in Animal Crossing. I have to wait for the splash. It is the most anxiety-inducing fishing I have ever done, and I hate it because of that.
the
That's
sound
why it's on
features
my
in your
list.
nightmares now.
Nah, yeah, maybe.
Just kidding. Oh
So,
gosh.
what's your
Yeah.
first and the misses?
I
What's your
mean, this is
first and
for
the misses
both of us. I
category?
know it's for both of us. Is Echoes of
Yep.
the Plum Grove. I
Yep.
hate that. I think it's almost universally disliked. I think it is almost, I say this again, almost universally disliked because for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons. It cramped a lot of people's hands. So what it is basically is when you cast and you start reeling in the fish, it pops up with this screen and the fish goes all over the screen and you have to follow the line of the fish with your WASD, with your WASD. And while you're doing this, time is still moving, which is faux pas number one. That sucks. That absolutely sucks and I think needs to be turned off anyways. Um,
Yes.
but then it just keeps going and going and going. It is interminable. Like it goes on for so long. And it's just excuse me, but boring. It's freaking boring. Like I don't find it engaging. I don't find it fun. Like I started it with like trying to play it like when the game first came out and I don't hate it like as a mechanic. I just think it's boring and annoying. And I don't want to do it. Like I think it's just such a time waste. And
Yes.
I
Time
know a
is
lot of
precious in a survival game.
yes, thank you. In any game, I feel like, but yeah, especially a survival game. And it's just a waste. It's just a waste. And as a side note here, I feel like similarly Luma Island did something similar, but they did it right. So
I
in
never
Luma
fished in
Island,
Luma Island, so go ahead.
I was gonna say in Luma Island, you follow the fish. It doesn't have a different pop-up screen. You can just see where the fish is, but you follow it with your mouse. I think it is, or maybe it's
Okay.
WASD, but it's a lot easier, a lot simpler, and a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter. Like it has a certain amount of time that you have to be within a certain proximity, and then it catches the fish, and that's it. And it stays in the water. You can see it moving around in the water, which is already more interesting than just like a line on the screen. I think it was like going. So
Mhm.
it's in like this box in Echoes of the Plum Grove, and it's this line
Yeah.
going all over this box, but it's traveling like up the box, like going towards the top. Ultimately, and you have to follow it up the box, and if it reaches the top of the box, it breaks the line or whatever. But with this, it's actually still in the water. You see into the water, which is a lot more visually interesting already, in Luma Island. And it has a set amount of time that you have to do it for, instead of having just going on and on and on and not ending until you catch up to the fish. And it's just, and it's not wasting time either. It pauses like any good fishing mechanic should. It pauses time. That's another thing. A good fishing mechanic will pause the time if it has a mini game. That's something we didn't
Yep.
cover. A good fishing mechanic will pause the game time for you while you are in the fishing mini game. That's yeah,
If time is a constraint, like if you have a bedtime that's forced and you have a pass out time,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I yeah, that's another mechanic. I'm glad we were talking about this, but yeah, I turn it off. That's I think the only game I actually turn the fishing mechanic off right now. I just like it
Yeah,
so much.
thankfully it has that accessibility is to
Yeah.
turn it off because it actually when I first did it gave me such bad motion sickness. And I was
Yeah,
like, nope, this
that was
needs
the
to
first
go."
time I had heard that, but I get that too. I hear that. But I heard a lot of people it hurt their hand, like it made their wrist hurt or their hand cramp a lot of
Yeah.
the time because it just went on for so long is what it was. So, but yeah, that's mine. What's your second one?
My second one is Graveyard Keeper. I I've
Yeah.
played so much Graveyard Keeper and I've literally never done any of the fishing. And that's because it 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 may not be as overcomplicated as it looks. But one of the things I don't really like is when you go to fishing spots, it gives you percentages on which specific fish you can catch,
Yeah.
um, which is a pain. And I also don't like that you get energy penalties for missing the click.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird
And
one.
energy's precious in Graveyard Keeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, don't make me
I
lose my
agree.
stamina if I mess up a cast.
That one, yeah, I think it's just overcomplicated. Like I think they were trying to do something similar to Stardew Valley, but then added too many other things just to try and be different. I don't know. I found it like meh. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like super fun. You know what I mean? Like I didn't mind it. I've done it a few times, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was just meh.
I'm very picky when it comes to quality when they do quality scores in games
Right.
like this. Uh there's a fine line. There's quite a few mechanics in Graveyard Keeper where I'm okay with how the star quality works, but fishing is not one of them.
No, they should definitely do a quality check on our meat that we're selling in
Yeah. We don't talk about the meat in Graveyard
Don't
Keeper.
talk about it. Shh. Secret.
All right, what's
Oh
your next one?
gosh. I don't know if it's still the same right now. So I'm going to caveat that right now. But it was Chef RPG. It left such a frustrating sour taste in my mouth when it first came out. It's in EA. I need to make sure I maintain that and like keep it in mind. And it already had an update that improved it, but I just felt like it wasn't quite enough. Um, Chef RPG. It wasn't an achievable cast. Like I tried 5+ times or more just to get one fish when it initially launched. This was like right away when it first launched. Didn't catch anything. It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. It just wasn't a game you could win with the base rod that you had, and you didn't have any upgrade ability. Like there's no bait, there's no nothing. And I just found that super frustrating. And you don't get any skills in that, I don't think, until quite a bit later. And even then, like, I don't know. It just it left a really frustrated, like it left me very, very frustrated. It wasn't balanced well for the difficulty. And again, EA, the first update, I think, after it came out, that wasn't like hot fixes or anything, definitely balanced it better. It made it better where you could catch like 1 in 5 or something like that, or 2 in 5 or something like that. And you had an upgrade available pretty quickly, like to buy, but even still, it still wasn't quite balanced enough. And I just still didn't really enjoy it. I was already left like with a sour taste in my mouth from like the initial um experience, and I just don't like it now. I just don't like it. And I haven't been back to it, and I need to give it another chance, especially once it's out fully. But yeah, that's just right now it's on my poopy list for fishing mechanic games.
I actually don't even remember the fishing mechanic in, so that's how
Yeah.
unremarkable it was to me.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to do a lot of fishing. You can buy most of what you need. Like it's
Pretty
pretty
much is what I do.
unnecessary for most of the game. It just kind of feels like an add-on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
but anyways, so that's mine. Maybe an unpopular opinion, maybe subject, or it's going to be subject to change. I'm going to be open later on down the line, but right now I'm just like, ugh. So, what's your last one? What's your last one?
My last one is, oh, my time at Sandrock and the sand fishing.
I get this. I get this one.
I Yeah, I guess I know it's the desert and they wanted to have a fishing mechanic. So it doesn't make sense that they'd fish in the water, considering the water is basically for their like drinking and stuff. But the sand, first of all, you have to have bait. You forget the bait, you got to go back and go get your bait. And
Yeah.
then you got to throw the bait and wait for the correct fish to spawn. And then you got to throw the sand trap. And hopefully you're aiming right and you get
Yeah.
it, cuz you have to like mouse over until it highlights, which is sometimes really hard to do with them swimming around. And
Yeah,
I
it's not super easy. You throw the bait in and they're supposed to be like distracted eating the bait and pause. But even still, like I feel like it's a little finicky like to aim correctly over it.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there's like what, maybe 6 fish total in the whole game?
No, I think there's more, but yeah,
Varieties?
it's generally a pain in the posterior for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not good.
I ski
I don't
I pretty much skipped fishing in that game almost entirely.
and yeah, and you don't have to do much of it anyways. Like there's like a couple of quests, but other than
Yep.
those, like there's nothing else that you have to do. So there's not really much point. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite. I don't think I dislike it or hate it, but it's definitely a for me. And I get what they were trying to do, but yeah, you're right. I think they missed the mark with it. So, you want to know? You want to talk about a game that did it right though? Little known galaxy. They're in
Oh,
space, so you don't really do fishing. So instead, they have microbe catching, and I feel like that was their equivalent of a fishing minigame, and they did really good with that. So I don't know if you remember that
cool.
one, but like that's a
No.
game where they tried to do something different with a substitute for fishing for that mini game, and I feel like they did it right. So you carry around this little detector, and you kind of got go around the room to find it. And once the room is empty, like it'll tell you there's no more in this room, and you can move on to the next area. But like you click it, like once you get a little light up, and it's a timed one. It's another timed one where there's like a certain shape with a circle or a squiggle, like it's always in a circle shape, but it's sometimes like wiggly line in a circle or just like a straight circle or like a spiky line, etc. But it's
Okay.
always getting smaller. It starts out big and it's getting smaller. And you have to hit it a certain amount of times within like this, I think it's a lighter zone. It's very clear. Like, matching it up to like when it hits like and matches up perfectly and lines up. You can't do it too early, too late. Otherwise, you won't get credit or it'll escape. So, yeah. And you
Okay.
can level up your microbe detector. I do feel like it's a little bit difficult at first. You can turn it off though. That's one of the ones you can turn off. You can make it easier even. Um, which I think that was one of the ones I actually made a little bit easier because that one for some reason like I struggled a lot with it. Maybe not. Maybe I got stubborn. But yeah, that one was one I felt like was a really good fishing minigame equivalent, but appropriate for the environment, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So, anyways, small side note, small left field like conversation, but yeah. Oh gosh, I'm on my last one, aren't I?
Your final one, yep.
Cornucopia. Do you even
I
remember what the
don't
fishing
even.
was like? God, it's.
Nope.
I just thought it was boring and dumb. Um. So basically, you remember like the tic tac toe where it's in like the holder and you drop the little pieces in, like the little
Oh, you mean like a
circles or whatever.
plinko?
Plinko, yeah,
Like
something like that.
plinko. Yeah.
It's plinko, and you have to like get close enough, like you're dropping in like bait or something like that, or like the like just a little ball, and you have to get close enough to it or hit it or something like that. I don't even like fully remember, but I was just like, this is boring and annoying. I didn't like it. And I was like, this isn't really like a great mini game, but there's like little pegs like that you have to like get around, or like it'll hit it and it'll go off in another direction, so you have to like navigate
Yep.
how it's going to drop or whatever. There are a
Yeah,
lot
but
of like
something like
plinko ones that other people like really like, but for a fishing mini game I was like it just wasn't interesting. I don't think it was well done. I just thought it was really boring and meh. So,
honestly still don't remember it, but having something with plinko is like you're adding RNG to something, which is not a good idea.
yeah, it's a lot of chance and you know, I think you can up your skill or you can get certain things like buffs or something like that to where you get more chances to be able to do it, because you do, I think you start off with 3 chances no matter what, and then you can get like 4 to 5 or something. Like, I don't remember, maybe it's 2, maybe it's less, but like you can get more chances with certain buffs or
Mhm.
stickers or whatever. Cornucopia is like a weird game overall. I feel like it's cute and it's interesting, but I
Oh,
feel like it's a
100%.
little
Yeah.
strange overall. But the fishing in particular was, I think, a big miss, and I didn't like it. So, yep,
Fair. Fair.
that's me.
So we're getting real tight on time here. And so
Yeah,
our next section that we're going to talk about is in 2025. What
yeah,
games are we looking forward to?
yeah. Um, you go ahead and go first. Go ahead and go first.
So at the top of my list is Vampire Rancher. We don't have a date for it yet. It
Nope.
does state 2025, but you basically play a vampire who is going to save this town for I don't know what the motivation
Somehow,
is at this point in time,
right?
but by day you farm crops and by night you farm
People.
humans. So I'm really curious how they handle that mechanic. Like, if you don't get the amount of blood you need, what's the detriment to you? Are you going to, like, if you mess up the mechanic and get too much blood from people, like if you don't do it secretly? I'm curiously
Yeah,
I, I'm so curious on how it's gonna work. Like, are there like rumors started about what you might be if you
right.
kill too many people or what? But I I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, or
What's
do you
your
kill people? So this is another one. I told her like when I saw her list, I was like, I
oh,
literally
do
thought
you?
about these same ones too. I debated putting them on. So Rancher was high on my list too. But like the other question is, do they kill humans? Or do they go around at night when people are asleep and take the blood? Do they rotate people? Do they make sure that they have things that are heavier in iron or like increase red blood cell count? Like you give them like food or
Meat,
supplements or something? Yeah, exactly. Like,
red
and
meat and
like,
spinach. Here you
do,
go.
do you make sure everyone's fed like a higher iron diet? Like, what do you do?
I doubt
Because I
it.
think that could be like a really interesting thing too. Or do you just rotate visitors? Do you just
I think
rotate?
I don't think you feed on the actual NPCs. I'm pretty certain you feed on the visitors, the
Yeah,
tourists.
the
There's one
tourists.
screenshot. Yeah, there's one screenshot on the Steam page where they're like sitting around a campfire and you could see the blood coming off of them, like you're biting them. I don't know
Oh
if
my
they die,
gosh.
but you're right. I don't know if they die or if you just take a certain amount of blood until you
Little sippy
fill
sip.
a meter or what. But yeah, yeah. I'm
But yeah.
curious. I'm
In
so
the
curious.
trailer, it specifically says you're farming humans though, and I think that was one of the things that tickled both of us so much. Like we just thought it was so funny. So
Yeah, the line is farm crops and humans. So
yeah. It's just hilarious. Oh gosh. So yeah, that'll be really interesting. Um and then there's my first one, which is I'm really excited about and is coming out on May 30th, and I know a lot of people are excited about is Rune
Woo!
Factory Guardians of Azima. And this is not like going to be a traditional Rune Factory. It's pretty different.
Yeah.
And if anybody's watched the trailers or anything, like it's a selection of two main characters, like female and male, that you can choose from, but you dance
Yeah, it's very
in
music based.
battle. Yeah, it's very music based instead of like more like your dance is your combat is a type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it looks interesting. It looks gorgeous. I love Rune Factory, and I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see more. There's still farming and like some other stuff, but it's really more periphery. It seems like than in like you're not like the Earth whatever it is, and you don't lose your memories.
Earthmate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not an Earth mate. You don't lose your memories, like the typical trope for that's more of a joke now across all the
Yeah.
rune factories. Like this one's quite a bit different, and I'm really excited to see what they're doing with it. So, but yeah, and that's May 30th that it's coming out, and I have it pre-ordered for like the deluxe edition, the Earth edition or whatever it is. I'm really stoked. But yeah, what's your next one?
My next one is it's a demo I played earlier this year. It's Grimshire. And it
Yes.
basically opens like you're being saved, like you're unconscious. You and another person who isn't so lucky get taken by a ship to, or actually, it's a boat. Let's be real. It's not a
Yeah,
big
it's a
ship.
small
It's
boat.
it's
Yeah.
one guy. It's a guy's fishing boat to Grimshire, and
Mhm.
it sounds like it might be like a werewolf plague or something that struck because it's like these feral monster creatures that are just destroying everything.
Yeah, and you're all
And
anthropomorphs. Like you're all animal type creatures. And so it
yes, and
could
you need
like
to.
infect any one of you. It's like a feral, yeah, type thing.
But as far as the demo goes, we don't really know anything about it. I think
No.
werewolf is just the guess of what it is,
Mhm.
but you're kind of like all trade routes are basically cut off at this point because now it's just like a crisis that's
Right.
happening, and so it there is survival mechanics. You have to keep the food stores up to a certain level to maintain the diets of both the carnivores and the herbivores, which is
Yeah,
fun.
you have to have like an omnivorous like output from your farm to be able to stock, and the thing is things go bad
They
in
do.
this game too. So
Yep.
you have to like consider, okay, well, how can I preserve these things, like et cetera, so on and so forth as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah, and I'm I don't know that I'm actually going to do the science, but I think I'll see if someone does. Like what happens if you run out of food? I think they do die. I'm pretty certain the NPCs in the town will die if you don't.
yeah,
But like does it turn into cannibalism? Like what's happening? I don't know.
true. Who knows? Who knows? It'd be really interesting. I would assume they would probably just do a game over. Like if the town runs out of food, like it would
Yeah.
probably just be more like game over. But yeah, that would be interesting that they kind of have like a slow decay of the town or something like that, or some kind of like storyline where there's some kind of redemption that can be made, but I don't know. It seems really interesting. That one was on my short list for sure as well. It looks so interesting. And it has such cute pixel art. I think the pixel art is really, really good. So, and I can't wait to be other creatures
Yes.
than a rabbit.
Yeah, because you can actually pick. I believe you could pick your animal that you play,
Yeah.
right?
In the
Hmm.
demo, I think they just had two different types of rabbit.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think you're going to be able to choose whatever animal is available in the game, like whatever other animals there are, if I'm remembering correctly. So, um, okay. So my next one is Two Pixelia. This one
Oh
is another one
yes.
that doesn't have a specific release date, especially on Steam. I think it's to be um, determined or whatever it is, to be announced. But on their Discord, I believe they were saying March or April. If I'm remembering correctly,
Ooh.
they have said March or April. Don't quote me, look it up. Actually, I'm going to look it up right now. I'm right here. I have my Discord open. Why am I not just doing this? But yeah, I have been waiting for this. The demo is open right now. So anybody who wants to go and check it out can do so. Um okay, now I'm looking here. Where did they have it? I'm in the right area. Give me one moment. Within the first months of 2025 with a target window of March or April. Yep, I remembered correctly. So that's on their
Nice,
Discord.
nice.
It's like 2 or 3 announcements back if you guys are interested in joining their Discord. So, yes, I am really looking forward to that. It's such an interesting, like, pixel life sim with so many different choices. They've simplified the decorating by a lot. Like, you don't have to travel to, like, all of these different shops anymore.
Oh, good.
Because they were all over the map. They had like 7 shops, 6 or 7 different shops all over the map, and people weren't finding where they were supposed to get certain things. And so that was like difficult and frustrating. And like they pivoted that, and they've done a few different like really good quality of life things. I think that they wanted to do, and they're getting that done. So I'm glad that they took the time to change the things they wanted to change and optimize the game better. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I think that I just wish they would have made a better, done better at announcing it and communicating. But that's about it. Um, and then honorable mention, not a release, but I really am looking forward to like some kind of news or information on T for Sana.
Oh, that was such a good demo.
Gosh, it was so good, and I cannot wait. And it's gorgeous pixel art. That pixel art is
It
so
is.
beautiful. The mystery is so interesting. Like that, I
Yep.
cannot wait. I'm thirsting for more information and for more news and for an update on it. Like I'm
Same.
so thirsty for more. But yeah, and then you had another one that you're like not an announcement or a release date, but you want more info.
Yes. So this one doesn't have a release date yet, and it's called Strange Antiquities, and it's I don't think it's a sequel to, but it's the next game by the same dev who did Strange Horticulture.
Oh yeah.
And Strange Horticulture was one of my favorite games the year I played it. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was S tier, bar none.
Nice.
So good. So Strange Horticulture was about cultivating plants, and you actually got to like figure out which plants were actually what based on like clues and stuff you had around you, and then you got
Yeah.
to shelve them and label them, which was so much fun. And then you got to make potions and stuff, and hopefully with the right outcome.
Right, 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 right.
And you could
Made
choose,
orders.
like, yeah, and you could
Uh,
choose. Someone could be like, I hate this guy. Can you give me a poison to kill him? And you could inadvertently, not inadvertently, you could purposely give her something that just does nothing.
yeah, and it
So
like made for like a morality for your store, I think it was, right? Like for your shop, like where shadier people would come and visit you or more honorable like honest people would come and visit you, is that right?
No, not particularly, because the people that come visit you don't change, but it does change what happens in the story. So there's like 16 people, and you could be responsible for any and all of their deaths.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of? I am thinking of it's potion craft. I'm thinking of potion craft with that one. So
Oh, yes, I remember that one. Yep,
yeah, yeah.
that's right.
I have played Strange Horticulture, but I did it on Switch, and let me say that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I found it so frustrating that I quit. I I liked the thought of it. I liked the idea of it. I don't think it was executed well controller wise, like and
Oh,
like
controller. Okay.
navigation wise with the controller. I don't think it was done well. Like, and I think I had some
Okay.
issues with the explanations. Like, I didn't understand certain things, or what I was supposed to be doing with like a couple things, and so that was like,
Hmm.
that was a minor one where I could have figured it out, but like with the controller issue, like I just, yeah, it was just not something that I wanted to continue on, and that was on Switch. It was optimized to Switch, but I think I can see how it would be fantastic on PC with keyboard and
Yeah.
mouse. And I want to give it
And
another go. I definitely want to give it another try.
do you normally play puzzle games? I can't remember.
I not as often, but I do
Mm.
enjoy them. I do enjoy them. I
Oh,
just have
good,
I
good.
usually have to be like in a mood for them, or I have to like schedule
Hmm.
them into my stream and then just do it because then I'll enjoy it.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
thing is like if I just like make a plan to do it and I start it, then I enjoyed it. But like normally like if I'm just doing it by myself, I'll have to be like in a certain like puzzle mood. But I always enjoy them. I
Yeah.
think they're super fun.
And Strange Horticulture, top tier, top tier. And so Strange Antiquities, I'm hoping we just get like random weird objects and we have to figure out what they're for, and then we can
Ooh.
classify and label them and maybe give them to people for certain purposes. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see because there's literally like not that much information out on it right now.
Yeah, that's really exciting. It does sound really interesting. And I did love the art. Like it was like kind of like
Yes.
noir. Like it was really cool in
Yeah,
Strange Horticulture.
and there's a cat that you can pet.
Yes. That was a huge tick in the I love this box. Like, you have a cat that I can pet? Yes,
Always.
I will play this game.
Always, always.
But yeah, that one's really really good. So, can't wait. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we're wrapped up. We do have a Steam Next Fest coming up in February, right? Just kind of as a
I
reminder to
always
both of
feel
us.
so blindsided by Next Fest. I know they happen 3 times a year, and like every single time I'm like, oh crap, it's this week. Every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah. I'm
Yes,
trying to be
Next
better
Fest is
about
coming.
it, but I think the next one is in February. And then after
Do we know the
that,
dates yet?
huh?
Do we know the dates yet?
I
I'm gonna Google
I
it
don't
now.
off the top of my head. Yeah, that's what I was about to do too. Steam Next Fest February.
February
Yep, February
2025.
2025. The 24th through March 3rd. So February
Oh, okay.
24th through March 3rd is when the next Steam Next Fest is.
That feels late for them, usually.
It does. It does feel late. Usually it's like mid February or like early February,
Yeah,
isn't it? But whatever.
it's
I
usually
don't
in the
really
middle of the
care.
month.
It's fine. It's fine. Um,
It's content. It's free. It's
yeah,
games we get to
exactly.
try.
It's
Yes.
demos. It's demos, demos, demos. And I am so stoked about that. Or sales. Sales is another one. Like you get really good sales during Steam Next Fest.
And add
Or
another
shadow
50 games to
drops.
your wish list.
Yeah, right. My wish list is so long. How long is your wish list right now?
It's I didn't add any from the last Next Fest, and I should have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 131. There's a couple I need to purge out that have come out, and the reviews weren't great, so I need to pull them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine's at 148. 148. And I keep up with
Woo.
it. Like there are some there are some I'm almost certainly not going to get. There are some that are already out that I'm waiting for like really good sales.
Hmm.
Like I'm waiting for like steep sales so I can get it, but only for like a certain amount. Because you get like the notifications and the emails, but like, yeah. Yep. 148. So
Nice, nice.
but anyways, that's gonna be it today, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, talking all about fishing. Thank you, Kat,
Yeah,
for
thank you so much.
diving into this with me and
Of
enjoying
course, and
fishing
thank you.
mechanics as much as I do.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people hate fishing mechanics. Like no matter what they are, they just hate the fishing mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad we can enjoy it together. But yeah, I think we're gonna make a series out of mechanics, right? I think that's what we're gonna try to kind of look
Yes.
at, and make a series on this. So, and we're gonna try to do this at least once a month, hopefully twice a month. Like the
Yes.
first and third week, I think, is what we kind of talked about, but it's fluid right now. It's kind of up to what happens in real life. No
Yeah,
solid
it's
dates.
pretty much real life dependent. So yeah, let us know in
Yep.
the comments if there's a mechanic you'd like us to deep dive, whether it's mining and
Yes.
dungeoning or cooking or anything.
Crafting, yeah, any kind of crafting, farming, yeah, anything really. Just let us know what your favorite mechanic is, and if you think of any other fishing mechanics that we missed, or any other games that have fantastic or terrible fishing, let us
Yes.
know down below in the comments, because I would really be interested to hear some of y'all's favorites and least favorites for sure.
Same, same.
But anyways, thanks again, guys, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.